What's up, guys? I'm gonna give my intro, but this girl is always making fun of my intro. So say my intro for me.
Hey guys, it's Eddie Hilaire here.
Uh,
Coming at ya.
that's what I say.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Anyway, what's up, Dragon Ball fam? It's your boy Eddie Hilaire here with my new tag team partner Amira. We're gonna talk about a underrated tech card today. So without further ado, let's get into it. The card we're going to talk about today, obviously you guys can see it, is gonna be. I get this question all the time. They come to me and they're like, Eddie, man, real question: is Bardock worth playing over Piccolo Secret Rare? And the answer I always give them, it's like sometimes it is. Yes, it can be. Reason being is because Piccolo Secret Rare, it's so busted, right? It's like so good. People always expect you to play it. So if I'm playing my Trunks deck, they're gonna expect the Piccolo Secret Rare gonna be dropped on that double strike. Or if they're gonna go all in on attack, they hold back because they're in fear of the Piccolo Secret Rare. Where if you're playing Bardock, they're like, okay, cool, he's playing Bardock, it's something else. But this is what I tell people all the time. We're playing a format right now, but we'll see what happens in the future, especially in Nat's format, because it has not been announced yet. But if this format remains best of one pre-sideboard, I venture to say Bardock is going to give you an edge sometimes. Not because it's better than Piccolo Secret Rare, and it's the exact reason why it's going to give you the edge. So let's get into it, right? Real quick before we move on and get actually into it, let's talk about what Bardock actually does. We all know what Piccolo does. Bardock, activate main 3 energy. If your leader is a sand card and your opponent has 3 or more energy, play this card from your hand, choose up to one of your opponent's cards, and switch it to rest mode. So choose up to one of your opponent's cards and switch it to rest mode. 9 out of 10 times is going to be 10 out of 10 times is going to be energy. I mean, not even like front. I would say 9, but like realistically speaking, it's going to be 10 out of 10 times is going to be energy. And this is why I venture to say, hey man, go ahead and use this Bardock as a secret gem in a best of one pre-side game. And this is why. If you're playing Trunks, it's more than just Trunks, but we're going to start this off with Trunks. If you're playing Trunks, your opponent in a best of one pre-sideboard game is going to automatically assume that you're playing the Piccolo Secret, right? So on big attacks where they're going to go all in, they're going to hold back. On attacks where you threaten double strike, for instance, with your leader, they're going to be prone to negating, but they're going to be prone, realistically speaking, to just keeping one energy open for a violent race. Because honestly speaking, oh no, yeah. Honestly speaking, it's exactly what they're gonna say when you try to swing. If you try to swing and you have one energy opening, I'm like, oh no, and keep the one energy up because realistically speaking, it's gonna be held up for the violent raise, right? The reason why it's gonna be held up for the violent raise is because, hey, if you cooler the violent raise, it is what it is. Yes, you dropped that guy, but then you just lost 3 energy. But instead of doing that, right? Let's say I use that 3 energy instead to tap your last energy to have now, let's go back and revisit him, a dual attack, because we didn't talk about the stats, right? He's a dual attack, double strike, 40k. And there's the rest of the effect that we're not going to even read, because realistically speaking, the assumption of you playing this Piccolo and Son Gohan you found might over this Bardock is not going to even let you finish the ability, because it's just going to be game over by the time you point. So this is just an example of how when, for instance, if you're playing Yellow Trunks, in my opinion, it's the only yellow deck that's really viable. Like, there are other yellow decks you can tinker around with, but if you were to tinker around with other yellow decks, you might as well just play the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Super Saiyan Trunks Father and Son Onslaught. There's a reason why Bandai chose this as a top cut Nats prizing card. Next two decks I'm going to talk about is, yes, these are way more relevant cards in the meta right now. My opinion, these are part of the top 3 decks in the meta. It's in my opinion, the first deck is Super Saiyan 4, Son Goku, and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta in it together. Then it's Sin, and then it's Pan, right? Because Red is just insanely dominant right now. Now you're gonna say, Eddie, man, this is crazy. Why are you showing these decks, man? These decks are like red. Why would you put them in red decks? That's exactly why I would put them in red decks. Because that's exactly what your opponent is gonna be thinking. So you know what your opponent is gonna do on your turn? They're gonna be like, okay, cool. If I'm playing against Gogeta, right? They're gonna say if he misplays and swings, I'm just gonna violent raise him. Because realistically speaking, in red mirror matches, that's all you gotta do is just violent raise. So in red mirror matches, you hold that 1 energy open up for violent raise, you just tap that 1 energy. But specifically more that's relevant in red than it is in yellow your opponent is more realistically going to have only one energy open because both of these decks have access to crowning and multiples. And if you're playing yellow, if you're playing blue, whatever the case may be, you really don't want your opponent to keep crowning you, especially if you're going against this Gogeta matchup. So realistically speaking, the way for them to play around it is by keeping one energy open. And what better secret to play then Bardock that's going to tap that one energy. But not only is it going to tap that one energy, it's coming with the flex, so it has protection, and it's going to put in some damage. It's a 40k base. Dual attack, double strike, pressure going to the dome. Like, it's just going to be game over by the time you play it in. Same thing with Pan. The same concept. You have access to Crown. I'm telling you, both red decks, you're going to be like, okay, man, like, he's probably playing Vegeta for Pan. He's probably playing Vegito or Vegeta in the Gogeta deck. So they're gonna leave the one energy open. You know, it's okay, cool. It is what it is. I'm not gonna allow you to crown me. I'm just gonna hold up the one for Violent Rays. So I only need one anyway because Red has no answer to Violent Rays until once again they smack down the Secret Rare, and it is the answer to the Violent Rays because it taps the one energy. So an honorable mention deck that I want to hit up on is this SS3 Trunks or SS3 Gold Tanks. Excuse me. Reason why. Bardock, once again, it's a Saiyan leader. It doesn't really specify color. It's just a Saiyan leader. You just tap 3 energy. A kill, or let me not say that word on YouTube. A play to usually win, which you do with Go Tanks, is you take your opponent to turn 5, right? The reason why you take your opponent to turn 5 is because you have both. It's the same thing that Go Tanks usually does, right? You have 2 6-drops on board. It's going to be 25, swing, okay, cool. Dual attack, so we swing again. You'll probably have another one on board, so you swing with that one, and you swing again, and you probably go into everything, send those 2 to the drop for successor, and you ring out Cell, right? But hey, your opponent knows I'm playing red. So all I have to do, for realistically speaking, is hold up a Violent Rays. Because if I hold up a Violent Rays, your turn is over. The only thing you're going to have to swing with is literally just your leader swing and your unison swing, which is, it's nothing in comparison to 4 25k swings, followed by a dual attack 40k quad strike swing. You see what I'm saying? So realistically speaking, they're only going to leave one energy open for the Violent Rays. Because once again, if you're playing decks like this, it's like, hey, they can't really do anything. But what happens when that one energy for your Violent Rays, or that one energy for your Repulse, or that one energy that you left open to stop that onslaught of 25k plus attacks gets tapped with Bardock? You see what I'm saying? It's just little stuff like that that I just wanted to make people realize. Because I know this would have been a really, really popular question, especially when I'm in real life events and people are able to talk to me in person. I don't know if like they're scared to put in the comments on the YouTube section. Don't ever be scared. If you put a question down and I want to answer, tag me again and I'll get back to it and I'll answer your question. So don't ever be scared to ask me a question. I'll always point it out. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Before you guys leave, please do me a huge favor, click that subscribe button right there and hit that bell for notifications to be up to date with all of the latest DBS info that we have. With that being said, thanks for joining today, and I will see you guys next time. Want to give an outro before we leave? Oh, you just on your phone now?
No. No.
You want to give an out, Amira? Say bye-bye, Amira. Oh, you got booty out? My bad. All right, with that being said, wait, y'all.
Oh my God.
My bad.